Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Greene hates America so much that she'd like a divorce from it. Well, a divorce from some portions of it. Now, she openly advocated for this treasonous idea on X, formerly known as Twitter. Here's what she posted. If the Biden administration refuses to stop the invasion of cartel-led human and drug trafficking into our country, states should consider seceding from the union. From Texas to New York City to every town in America, we are drowning from Biden's traitorous America last border policies. Okay, so her argument is that the Biden administration has an open border policy, which is not true. She is a sitting member of the United States Congress, which is tasked to essentially pass legislation, including legislation pertaining to our outdated immigration laws. Now, rather than do her job along with her colleagues, Marjorie Greene is doing what honestly annoying, do-nothing individuals in this country like to spend all day doing, just serving as a Twitter troll, okay? Your tweets do nothing. And calling for a divorce from states you don't like is anti-American, and I think it's gross. I love this country. I love every part of this country. I love the red parts, I love the blue parts, because I'm an American. I love the people of this country. Yes, we have disagreements, but the idea of wanting to divorce from states that have, majority ideas that I disagree with is ridiculous. That's not the way you should have, that's not the kind of mindset you should have in a democracy. And you certainly shouldn't have that kind of mindset as a sitting member of the United States Congress.
Yeah, so look, this is just flat out Confederate talk. And so we are the United States of America, and she's saying we shouldn't be. We should get a divorce and we should hate each other from then on. Look, we've been through this many times, and unfortunately, some people in the blue states are starting to get enamored with that idea. We talked about that before too. They're like, look, the blue states pay money to the red states. They're largely milk off of us, and they pass these laws that we think are draconian, etc. But guys, we can't give up on each other. So yes, from time to time, we significantly disagree with one another. But if we give up on each other, then we're not the United States of America.
Exactly.
And so I like the country too much to give up on it. And I hope you guys agree. And in terms of Marjorie Taylor Greene, her main complaint is what? Because we have immigrants, and people have forgotten why they were angry at the immigrants in the first place.
Totally.
Like, remember the ostensible reason that the right-wingers gave was they're taking our jobs. Well, now we have record low unemployment.
In fact, labor right now, as we speak, has a lot more leverage because of the tight labor market, which is kind of awesome.
The labor market is tight as a tiger.
Super tight.
Okay, and so now, what's your excuse? Let's be honest.
Drugs, Cenk. She's very worried.
Yeah.
She's very worried about the cartels. She's worried about the cartels.
Yeah.
She's worried about drug trafficking. Let's keep in mind that Trump gets elected and he has 2 years of full control. Majorities in the House and the Senate. Homeboy could have done something about the overdose issues we're having in this country. He did nothing.
Nothing.
Okay, Republican lawmakers have done nothing on this matter. And by the way, neither have the Democrats. That is the issue that haunts me every single day. The ever increasing numbers of our fellow Americans literally dying of drug overdoses. You couldn't bother a member of Congress to even hold a hearing about it. Okay, they held a hearing today about book bans, about genderqueer. You want to have those hearings, that's fine, but people are literally dying, hundreds of thousands of them every single year from drug overdoses. I mean, Marjorie Greene wants to pretend like she's concerned about that, but rather than tweeting about it, why don't you go do your job and actually legislate? But she can't be bothered to do it. Day in, day out political stunts, that's what Marjorie Greene is all about, along with countless other members of Congress, to be quite honest with you.
Okay, so guys, there's a reason why they don't do something about the actual epidemic, and there's a reason why they don't have hearings about it, because they're all getting paid by the companies who actually started it. So the drug companies, a big giant American drug companies, are the ones that started all these problems with opioids in the first place.
Sackler family.
Okay, and meanwhile, the Republicans and Democrats pocketed money from them in campaign contributions. And it's not just the Sacklers, it's not just Purdue Pharma. By the way, it's also the pharmacies like CVS, Walgreens, etc. And guess who the heroes in this story are? And it's a twist. If you remember, corporate media gives you nothing but corporate propaganda. So all your life you've heard trial lawyers are the worst. And yes, there's some lawyers that are sleazy. But overall, trial lawyers were the heroes in this story. They went after the drug companies and they got money for victims, right? And they got money for themselves. But hey man, at least somebody tried for justice and got it, right? And if we waited for the Republicans and the Democrats to do something, they never would have done anything. Instead of worrying about the guys who actually produce the drugs, they're like, oh, they get some chemical from China and it gets produced, some of it in Mexico, and some of it, most of it comes through planes, right? But some of it comes through the border a little bit. Now we're down to a couple percentage points. That's the problem. No. Your donors are the problem. And you're trying to protect them with this demagoguery. And be honest, right-wingers, you just don't like the browning of America. So you don't like that they don't look like you and it doesn't feel like your hometown anymore because the people look different, etc. I get it, you're opposed to change, right? But it isn't the jobs. You know it isn't the jobs anymore. You're gonna go pick that lettuce? I wanna see your ass picking lettuce. You're not gonna do it. We've already done that experiment 10 different times in the red states. They ban the immigrants and then they start howling, oh, please come back. Nobody wants to pick the lettuce, please come back. Because Mexican workers or Latin American workers are incredibly hardworking. They're trying to deliver for their family. Listen, and American workers don't wanna do it, be honest, be honest. Instead you have traitors, literal traitors like Marjorie Taylor Greene saying, let's destroy America. Let's split it in two, just like the Confederacy did. And then you take the more backwards half. No, I don't want you to do that. I believe in the people in the red states and I want to help them.
All right, so let's also just go to Antonin Scalia back in 2006 and what he had to say about this very matter, about the idea of a national divorce. If there was any constitutional issue resolved by the Civil War, it is that there is no right to secede. Hence, in the Pledge of Allegiance, one nation, indivisible. Okay, and he's right about that. Now, in fact, her rhetoric has slowly grown more extremist over the years, and even a poll that she put out on X back in October 11th of 2021 showed that her followers aren't in favor of a national divorce. She said, should America have a national divorce? The majority of the people, I guess reading her Twitter account, say no, stay together at 47.7%. The 43% a little concerning, but Twitter doesn't exactly have the most scientifically sound polling available. Now, Greene then floated the benefits of a national divorce a few months after that post in response to a social media user who argued that Democrats who move to red states, get a load of this, shouldn't be allowed to vote for a certain period of time. Okay, they're worried about the new residents turning their red states into purple or blue states. And here's what she wrote in response to that. All possible in a national divorce scenario. After Democrat voters and big donors ruin a state like California, you would think it wise to stop them from doing it to another great state like Florida. Brainwashed people that move from California to New York really need a cooling off period. By the way, I want to also note one other thing. I think it's good to have tension, some level of tension between two parties. Because when you have complete control of one party in a particular state like California, I think you run into problems. So California definitely has its problems. I'm not going to disagree.
Oh, you want to talk about one party control? Alabama, Mississippi.
No, absolutely, and they have their problems.
They have nothing but problems, ranking 49th and 50th in almost every category. Why? Because they've been ruled by Republicans for decades. And Republicans don't care about the citizens. They care about their donors and they care about corporations. So they've been bleeding Alabama and Mississippi dry with their disgusting corruption. But still, we don't say get rid of Alabama and Mississippi. We say help Alabama and Mississippi. And lastly, you know you're un-American when you say that maybe we should destroy America. That is her literal proposal. Break America up. It will not be the country that it is today. She's saying, let's destroy America. So thank you, Marjorie Taylor Greene, for saying the quiet part out loud, you traitorous Confederate clown. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.